Hello learners, in the series of food additives, we have discussed the general food additives and also discussed the food preservatives in detail. In this lecture, we are going to discuss different food additives, number one being food flavors. It is the sensory impression of a food or other substance and is determined mainly by the chemical sense of taste and smell. The trigeminal senses, which detect chemical irritants in the mouth and throat, may also occasionally determine flavor. The flavor of a food as such can be altered with natural or artificial flavorants which affect these senses. Of the three chemical senses, smell is the main determinant of a food item's flavor. While the taste of food is limited to sweet, sour, bitter, salty and other basic tastes, the smells of a food are potentially limitless. A food's flavor, therefore, can be easily altered by changing its smell while keeping its taste similar. Flavor enhancers are used in food to enhance the existing flavor in the food. They bring out the flavor in foods without imparting a flavor of their own. It also increases the stability of the food. For example, monosodium glutamate is added to processed foods like some soups, sauces and sausages. Flavoring. Flavorings are added to a wide range of foods, usually in small amounts to give a particular taste. They do not have E numbers because they are controlled by different food laws. Ingredient list will say if flavorings have been used, but individual flavorings might not be named. Natural flavor substances such as salt, spices, extracts, herbs, roots, essence and essential oils are also used. Uses of food flavors. Number one is to enhance a good flavor. For example, addition of chocolate essences to chocolate cake. Replace flavor lost while processing a food. Give particular flavor to food. Mask some undesirable flavor to increase acceptability of food. Disadvantages of using food flavors is that artificial flavoring tricks our brain into wanting more of it. They give characteristic specific taste that's addictive. It changes our palate, which indirectly affects our brain, and we crave for more that particular taste again and again, and in a way we become addictive. Artificial flavoring can lead to nutrient deficiency also. Many a times it is written on the cold drinks that they contain added flavor, no fruit juice or pulp. Body gets the satiety but not the nutrition. Artificial flavors should not be used in infant food. Let us now talk in detail about food colors, because we see nowadays in general lot of colors are used in food while processing. According to Merriam-Webster dictionary, it is a dye or pigment permitted for use in food. According to Wikipedia, it is any dye, pigment or substance that imparts color when it is added to food or drink. Colorings are added to food to replace colors lost during preparation or to make food look more attractive. They come in many forms consisting of liquids, powders, gels and pastes. They are also used in a variety of non-food applications including cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, home craft projects, etc. Types of food coloring. We have natural food colors like keratin and carotenoids, chlorophyll, riboflavin or lactoflavin, then annatto, saffron, curcumin or turmeric and caramel. Artificial, for example, oil-soluble colors and coal tar colors. When we talk of natural food colors, these are derived from seeds, vegetables, flowers, fruits and insects, etc. Popular natural colors which we use today are same as the ones used in olden times. For example, carotenoids, anthocyanins, turmeric, carine, etc. Saffron is also a natural food color. It is the world's costliest spices by weight. Saffron is isolated from the flower of plant sativus. Another examples are carotenoids, which impart bright red, orange and yellow colors to many fruits, vegetables and flowers. They are one of the most important color component of saffron, pepper and red palm oils. Their color and beneficial properties like vitamin A precursors and antioxidants property have led to their significant role in the food industry. Beta-carotene is a red-orange pigment found in plants and fruits like carrot, from which it derives its name. Beta-carotene is converted into vitamin A. Onions, carrots, peas, spinach and squash are examples of food rich in vitamin A. It is an excellent antioxidant. We have chlorophyll color, which can be isolated from chloroplasts of algae and plants and used as food color. Then betanin or beetroot red is obtained from the extract of beetroot juice. It is used to give color to ice cream, sugar confectionery, fruit or cream filling, meat and sausages. We have synthetic food colors which are derived from chemicals and are used in food industry and pharmaceuticals. Their potential sources are petroleum, petrochemicals and mineral compounds. Some examples are indigo caramine, Olera red AC or red 40, quinoline yellow WS. Along with these names, their chemical names are also mentioned. What are the uses of food coloring? To offset color loss due to exposure of light, air, extreme temperature, moisture and storage conditions. To correct natural variations in color, to enhance colors that occur naturally. To provide color to colorless and make foods tempting and fun. To make food more attractive, appetizing and informative. To allow consumers to identify products on sight. But adding food colors to the food have their own dangers also or disadvantages. Food colors are added to make foodstuff decorative and appetizing. These colors modify the flavors and textures of the food items. But nowadays, they have entered our lives in a huge way. They mislead the consumers. Most of the synthetic food colors are synthesized in labs using highly toxic substances and are also derived from petroleum. Some of them contain benzene, which is a known carcinogen and can lead to occurrence of tumors. As kids are in their developing stage, so they are more sensitive to the food colors being used. Studies show a significant correlation between hyperactivity, irritability and aggressiveness in children and artificial food colors. These artificial food colors can also induce allergic reactions. So it is found that consuming certain artificial colors could cause increased hyperactivity in some children also. So we should avoid the use of artificial colors in our daily routine foods. What are the properties of safe food colors? They should be readily soluble in water and stable over a pH range of a particular food. It should be non-toxic and should not exceed the permissible limits. Sometimes even the safe food colors are used in excessive amounts to give the food a nice color, which ultimately may be harmful. The disadvantages of using artificial food coloring seem to outweigh the advantages. Thus, to stay away from these food colorings, people these days prefer to cook whole food diet, but because of their busy schedules, they depend on processed food. In these circumstances, it is better to go for organic products, use unprocessed meats, use natural spices and make our own food coloring additives from natural products. Even the food processing industry also needs to be more aware of the health impacts of food colors being added. However, the industry will only move towards limited use of food colors when there will be pressure from the side of consumers. So, we as consumers should avoid the use of artificial food colors. Now, let us talk of artificial sweeteners, which is nowadays very common amongst us. What are sweeteners? They are the sweetening agents. They are the substances which are added to the food to either impart sweetness to it or enhance sweetness or to mask its bitter taste. Sugar is the most widely used natural sweetening agents. It imparts viscosity to drug and even acts as a preservative for liquid dosage forms. Sugar having lot of disadvantages like dental caries, high blood sugar, high calorific values, etc. Among this, there are various substitutes available over sugar. There are two types of substitutes which are used as sweeteners: natural sweeteners and artificial sweeteners. We'll talk about the artificial sweeteners. These are used instead of natural sweeteners because natural sweeteners like sucrose add to the calorie intake. Thus, people who require less calories like diabetic patients prefer artificial sweeteners. It may be helpful for people trying to lose weight. They provide sweetness to foods and drinks without adding a lot of extra calories, and most of these artificial sweeteners all contain almost no calories. Using sugar substitute in place of sugar can help prevent dental decay also. They also may help with blood sugar control in people with diabetes. Let us talk about some artificial sweeteners. Number one is the saccharine, which is sometimes available in the name of sweet and low or sugar twin. It is most popular non-nutritive sweetener, 200 to 700 times sweeter than sucrose, approximately 550 times sweeter than cane sugar, and it is used in many diet food and drinks because a small quantity of it will make our food item very sweet. They may have a bitter or metallic aftertaste in some liquids. They are not used in cooking or baking. It is harmless to consume and it is excreted through urine unchanged. Then we have aspartame, which is sometimes found in the trade name of Equal or NutraSweet. They are the nutritive sweetener. It has calories but is very sweet, so very little is needed. It is almost 100 to 200 times sweeter than cane sugar. It hasn't shown any serious side effect. It is methyl ester of dipeptide formed from aspartic acid and phenylalanine. Limitation of using aspartame is that its uses are restricted to cold foods as it is unstable at cooking temperature. It loses its sweetness when exposed to heat. It is best used in beverages rather than baking. It is important that FDA requires that foods containing aspartame must bear an information statement for people with PKU, that is phenylketonuria, a rare genetic disorder, alerting them about the presence of phenylalanine, which is the component of aspartame. Then we have another artificial sweetener known as elitame. It is a high potency sweetener and more stable than aspartame. It is approximately 2000 times sweeter than cane sugar. It is a non-nutritive, artificial, intensive sweetener, and unlike aspartame, it is a protein and a dipeptide. It has been allotted the E number 956. It is used as a low-calorie sweetener as it gives the same taste as table sugar but without the calories. Elitame is a dipeptide of L-aspartic acid and D-alanine. Attached to alanine is a amine. These are the structures of the artificial sweeteners which we discussed: saccharine, aspartame and elitame. What are the precautions for use of artificial sweeteners? Only people who are diagnosed at birth with phenylketonuria used to avoid food containing certain sweeteners, that is aspartame. With these, according to FDA, it is mandatory to be mentioned on the food if aspartame is there. This is because they cannot consume food containing phenylalanine, which includes foods such as meat, dairy or nuts. Phenylketonuria is a disease in which the affected individual lacks an enzyme that converts amino acid phenylalanine into tyrosine, due to which it is accumulated and then converted into phenylpyruvic acid. Accumulation of these in brain results in mental retardation. So, in the two presentations on food additives, we have discussed what is the definition of food additives. We have discussed the types of food additives, the functions of food additives, their purpose, examples and uses. Then in food preservatives, we have discussed the examples and importance of food preservatives, types of food preservatives and some preservation techniques like pickling, salting, sugaring, canning, pasteurizing, etc. In the second lecture, we have discussed about the food flavors, the uses of food flavors, advantages and disadvantages of using artificial food flavors in the regular food items. Then we have discussed food colors, their types, their uses and food colors vis-a-vis food safety. We have talked about the artificial sweeteners. We have discussed three examples: saccharine, aspartame and elitame, and we have also discussed the precaution in their usage. I hope this food additive topic will be very interesting to all of you, and in our daily life also we can use this knowledge and tell the other consumers also, discuss with our friends also about the use of artificial food flavors, artificial food colors and artificial sweeteners. Some references which we have used, and with this we come to the end of this lecture on food additives. Thank you.